It is no secret that Sezane has changed over the past year and a half. More and more old-time Sezane consumers and fans are disappointed with the new direction. I will still buy and review Sezane, but there are some things that I feel like I need to share with you. So in this video, I wanted to share my views and opinions on the Sezane change and discuss also the impact on my life as a consumer, but also on the life of this channel. If you're ready, let's go. Let's talk about what Sezane was and how I got drawn to Sezane in the first place. There are clear reasons why I was drawn to Sezane in the first place and why, after a lot of advertisement, I decided to make my first purchase in 2020. Sezane was born with a strong identity of Parisian bourgeois flair from the 70s. It has always been a feminine brand and also a little bit bohemian to its core. And for a long time, it was also this joyful brand, you know, this communicated joie de vivre through the colors and the prints that were proposed and the art of composition through the colors and the prints and all the final outfits that were communicated to the consumer. I think it incarnated the spirit of Morgane Césalerie, and I think overall Sezane has the merit of bringing the Parisian style to the mainstream, distinguishing itself for excellent customer service, for size inclusivity, but also for the materials used with the price point that was given to the consumers and the use of Sunday drops as marketing tools. So limited editions as marketing tools. I think it's clear from the images that you've seen how the spirit of the brand was before and how much it has changed over the past year and a half. So let's talk about these changes. Voilà, get ready for it because I have a lot to say. So over the past year and a half, Sezane has had an exponential growth as a result of their marketing and advertising efforts. It also has had a change in its investors and consequently in its board, which I think resulted in a difficulty to face the great demand for the brand itself and propose the same quality or the same customer service that they had before. However, there is one thing that is clear to everyone, and that is that Sezane has slowly replaced their feminine and bohemian core with elevated basics only. It's basically become an elevated basics brand. Nowadays, prints are very rare to find, and I think they had a change in their marketing personas and their target customer as well. I don't think they are primarily targeting millennials anymore. I think they're targeting more and more Gen Zs as well, which reflects in the change of the cuts and the change of aesthetics that they had. I think in recent times, Sezane is more Scandinavian than French. I don't see the French flair anymore. I don't see the art of composition, and I don't see Morgane Césalerie. I don't see the bohemian essence, this joyfulness. The size inclusivity is still there, but because it's targeting more and more Gen Z, I think the cuts aren't as inclusive as the sizes to every body shape and how a woman's body changes through the years and every 10 years possibly. And that's just a reality, something that nature has given us. The cuts nowadays seem to flatter only straighter bodies, although they are making an effort, and I can see that because, for example, I bought 2 pair of jeans and they are my favorite jeans at the moment from Sezane, which is nothing that hardly ever has happened in the past. Every change is reflected in their content. I think the content that they're putting up there at the moment is rather insipid, sometimes childish. I don't know about you and how you feel about it, but these kind of videos where 2 influencers is just posing and acting like teenagers, 2 grown women, is not inspirational or cute to me. It just doesn't add any value to my day. It brings me an aesthetic that is more Munich and Hamburg than Paris, and that's not what I signed up for when I started buying and giving money to Sezane. I think there are better ways to communicate joyfulness and the Parisian style. It's something that they have done in the past very well, and I don't know why they're not doing it anymore. The brand looks right now as if it's being inspired by influencers' capsule wardrobes rather than inspiring influencers to build their capsule wardrobes. So what's going on? Also, there are more and more complaints about bad quality, more polyester and viscose use, bad customer service, etc. And let's talk about my experience with this. Had a little break, and that's why the sunlight is different now. But let me continue on my analysis. I have to say, I've also recently started raising my eyebrows. And so let's start with the complaints about bad quality. In general, I still think that Sezane has an amazing price point for the quality that they offer. I think the quality is not just in the materials used, it's also in the cuts, it's also in the seams and the reinforcement of buttons, etc. However, I do think that the quality has decreased. Not necessarily for the older basics, but more on what they propose as the new basic. Let me get my newest Gaspard from my wardrobe and compare it to this that I'm wearing is an old Gaspard. And as you can see, yeah, so these round, almost mother of pearl buttons. And now let me get the new one. Do you see the button? Definitely lower quality. I'm sorry, but this is much cheaper than the buttons in this Gaspard. And this Gaspard, I think if it's not 4 years old, it's probably 3 years old. Anyway, so in theory, the quality stays the same. The blend of the wool is the same. The sizing is the same. It has the reinforced buttons as well. So that's really good. But they're trying to cut cost on the materials by switching the buttons, for example. And that to me is a decrease in quality. To be honest with you, I was just playing with this right now and it unbuttoned. And these ones that I have in this Gaspard, they just stay put. Speaking of polyester and viscose being used more and more, I have to say I do agree to that remark. I've seen more and more poly and viscose being used, and that's not necessarily matched by the request of those materials in design. Now, I know that pieces with polyester and viscose are probably Sezane's way to pay for their higher end materials. The price point is basically equal for polyester and silk, so to say. And the pieces that are made in polyester and cost 130 euros, I'm just throwing a price right there. Obviously, they're not matched in the real value of the piece. But those pieces and that price point and the revenue from that price point goes to finance the silk that you buy for 130 euros, which is a very competitive price. You know what I mean? So everything needs to communicate and balance itself. However, there hasn't been an increase in silk being used anywhere recently, so, or any other precious material. So where does the money go? I'm also doubtful because sometimes this polyester or this viscose is not used for very flowy skirts or dresses as I used before, because dresses and skirts production has drastically reduced in this past year and a half. So I'm not sure why they're doing that, but I do suspect it is to cut the cost. Speaking about the customer service, I've always said that Sezane had marvelous, excellent, fabulous customer service. They were very reactive. They helped you all the way with everything. And also that I don't think that they're working well on clients fidelization for older clients. So for example, I've seen in many Facebook groups that there are a lot of newer clients that are receiving gifts, one gift after the other. And maybe this is my personal grudge with it, but I've been a long time consumer of Sezane and I've only received what, 2 probably gifts from the brand. And I think the first year, yes, I think the first year they actually gave me a birthday present that I still use. Whenever I go out, it's a little canvas wallet, like a card holder, a lip balm from them as well. And these years I've spent so much on Sezane. It is incredible. I did expect them to keep sending me birthday gifts or random gifts every now and then just because of all the money I've given to them, but they're not doing that. That kind of puts me off, you know? They also revoked my right to have express shipping for free, probably because of all the returns that I've made during the past year, which brings me to my next point. The returns, the number of returns that I've made in the past year and a half is just a reflection of how much I don't identify 100% to the brand anymore. Whereas before it was like 100% Sezane, right? In the past 2 months, I've found myself buying more and more pre-loved Sézane than new Sezane. And that's only because I really want those pieces that are more personality infused. I mean, how many neutrals and how many essentials can I have in my wardrobe? Because I'm a very colorful person. Colors are an expression of my personality. Fashion is an expression of my personality. And feminine and bohemian prints are too. And these pieces are not present in Sezane anymore. So I've been using more and more of my older pieces. And when I need to replace them, I find myself just searching for them pre-loved or scouting vintage a lot. The Sunday drop situation, that has gone out of hand in the past year and a half. How many limited editions can you have? Really, every Sunday is something, and it's inciting people to buy more. And let's be honest, advertisement and limited editions are made for a reason to tap onto consumers' impulsiveness. And no one is immune to that. You're only immune if you start unfollowing social media, which I have done, and it got better on this front. You know, now I only scout the Sezane app whenever I really feel like buying something because I don't see the ads anymore. But that is a little contrarian to the positioning of Sezane as a non-fast fashion brand. I mean, with the amount of limited editions and Sunday drops, they much resemble a high-end fast fashion brand, just with a higher price point and a higher quality. You know what I mean? They're just dividing their collections into too many pieces at this point. And I think that kind of puts off people who have been buying from the brand a lot during the past years. They start being a little bit tired. There's a little bit of a consumer fatigue that comes into play. So all in all, how does it affect me as a consumer and as Sezane, and how does it affect my channel? I think that I will still buy and review from Sezane because in general is a brand that I love, and I also think that the price per quality ratio is really high. But on newer pieces, this is definitely where I see the difference. Now, I'm sure that you've seen my video, my latest Sezane haul. If you haven't checked it out here, I just can't explain myself why on the blouse that it's 100% silk, you have such poor quality in buttons, like a fundamental thing as buttons. Why aren't those buttons reinforced from behind? This is something that on 100% silk blouse I would expect, because that blouse is financed through other pieces whose value is definitely smaller. And this is the kind of attention to details that they used to have a lot, but they're not really paying attention to now. I mean, to me it's just crazy that I order something to try it on, and when I am unbuttoning it, the button just falls off. I'll still keep buying Sezane and reviewing Sezane, a reflection of my love for the brand, because I do still think that the quality is really high and the size inclusivity is really high for the price point. Inclusivity is like almost zero in French brands. So, you know, just for that, Sezane has a place in my heart. However, I think it's probably time to take a little break from it. And when the brand has again a feminine and bohemian core, where I see flowers again, where I see nice geometrical compositions or appliques here and there, and different designs. I just want to replace something, then I would definitely turn to Sezane first, and I will bring new reviews on this channel. But if nothing interesting pops out, then I won't be so hasty to buy and try just for reviewing on this channel. You know, I don't think this is sustainable, and I also don't think this is healthy, and I want you to keep trusting me, and this is why I'm taking this decision. Maybe tomorrow they will have a drop that leaves me speechless and I will buy it, but it's a conscious choice. It's an intentional choice, and I want to bring this intentional lifestyle to you as well. That being said, I will keep reviewing Sezane in my Sezane guides. I will keep posting outfit ideas and inspiration and lookbooks with Sezane, because it's 90% of my wardrobe, you know, 90% of my wardrobe is a lot. So I will still bring all of this into the channel, but I also would love for you to appreciate the fact that I prefer to bring you something new, something fresh, something more that maybe doesn't have the same exact quality as Sezane, but has the same kind of designs that we look for, or French brands that give you this kind of flair and really make you smile and happy. And I prefer to talk about those mixed in with my usual Sezane content. So all in all, I would like to hear from you what your experiences and what your thoughts and opinions are on this matter. I know that a lot of you are probably approaching Sezane recently because you have a more like a sleeker, cleaner, more classical style, and this is what you like in it, and it's all good. I just think that before, Sezane used to have this great mix where it had more classical and essentials pieces and a lot of personality infusions as well, so it was like 50-50. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and let me know everything you think in the comments. See you next time. Bye!